God is a great Lord and a great King above all gods. For the Lord will not turn away his people, because in his hand are all the ends of the earth, and the heights of the mountains are his. For the sea is his, and he made it, and his hands formed the dry land. Psalm 94. That one is the first of beings, possessing the full perfection of the whole, which we call God, has been shown in the foregoing, who from the abundance of his perfection bestows his being on all things, so that it is proved that he is not only the first of beings, but also the principal of all. Now he gives existence to others, not by the necessity of nature, but according to the discretion of his will, as is clear from the foregoing. Whence it follows that he is the master of his works. For we have dominion over those things which are subject to our will. And this dominion he has perfect over the things produced by himself, inasmuch as he who produces them needs neither the support of an external agent, nor the foundation of matter, since he is the universal producer of the whole being. But of those things which are produced by the will of the agent, each one is ordered by the agent to some end. For good in the end is the proper object of the will. Whence it is necessary that those things which proceed from the will should be ordered to some end. But each thing attains its ultimate end by its own action, which must be directed to that end by him who gave the beginnings to the things by which they act. It is therefore necessary that God, who is universally perfect in himself, and bestows existence on all beings by his own power, should exist as the ruler of all beings, certainly not directed by anyone. And there is nothing that is excused from his rule, just as there is nothing that is not destined to exist by him. Therefore, just as he is perfect in being and causing, so also he is perfect in governing. But the effect of this government appears in different ways in different people, according to the difference of natures. For certain things have been produced by God in such a way that, having understanding, they bear his likeness and represent his image. Whence they are not only directed, but also directed according to their proper actions to the proper end. If they are submitted to the divine government under their own direction, they are admitted to attaining the ultimate end from the divine government. But others, lacking in understanding, do not direct themselves to their end, but are directed by another. Some of these incorruptible existences, just as they cannot suffer failure in their natural being, so in their own actions they by no means exaggerate what has been assigned to them from order to end, but are indefatigably submitted to the government of the first ruler, as the heavenly bodies are, whose movements always proceed uniformly. But other corruptible existences can suffer a deficiency of natural being, which, however, is supplied by the progress of another. For when one is corrupted, another is generated, and in the same way they fall short of the natural order in their proper actions. But this deficiency is compensated for by some good proceeding therefrom. From this it appears that even those things which seem to be exorbitant from the order of the first government escape the power of the first ruler. For even these corruptible bodies, as they were created by God himself, are thus completely subject to his power. But this deficiency is compensated by some good proceeding therefrom. From this it appears that even those things which seem to be exorbitant from the order of the first government escape the power of the first ruler. For even these corruptible bodies, as they were created by God himself, are thus completely subject to his power. But this deficiency is compensated by some good proceeding therefrom. From this it appears that even those things which seem to be exorbitant from the order of the first government escape the power of the first ruler. For even these corruptible bodies, as they were created by God himself, are thus completely subject to his power. Therefore the psalmist, filled with the divine spirit, considering this in order to demonstrate to us the divine government, first describes to us the perfection of the first ruler, indeed of nature, in what God says of power, in what the great Lord says, as if he needed nothing to produce the effect of his power. Authority, in that he says the king is great above all the gods, because, although there are many rulers, yet all are subject to his government. Secondly, he describes to us the mode of government, and indeed as regards the intellectual things which, following his government, achieve from him the ultimate end, which is himself. And therefore he says that the Lord will not reject his people. But as for corruptible things which, even if they are sometimes extorted from their own actions, are not excluded from the power of the first ruler, he says, because in his hand are all the ends of the earth. But as for the heavenly bodies, which exceed all the height of the earth, that is to say, corruptible bodies, and always keep the right order of the divine government, he says, and they are the heights of the mountains themselves. Thirdly, however, he assigns the reason for the universal government itself, because it is necessary that those things which have been established by God should also be governed by him. And this is what he says, because the sea and the rest are his. Because therefore in the first book we continued on the perfection of the divine nature, and in the second concerning the perfection of his power, according as he is the producer and Lord of all things, it remains in this third book to proceed with his perfect authority or dignity, according as he is the end and ruler of all things. It will therefore be necessary to proceed in this order, that it should first be dealt with according to the fact that it is the end of all things. Secondly, concerning his universal government, according to which he governs every creature. Thirdly, concerning the special government, as it governs creatures having understanding.